Rotten Tomatoes fixes scores. That's the point of this video. It's something I knew that was happening during the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and it's happening here in live time. We can track it. My analysis on this story began over here. Little Mermaid. This isn't my tweet. This is from Mighty Keith. He says a 95% audience score and 67 critic score is going to put the woke media agenda. That's not what woke means. Dudes in shambles. I'm on the sidelines with this topic, but damn, this is hilariously shocking. And no insult to Mighty Keith, but when I was doing the woke thing, I know he doesn't mean it that way. I just mean like we kind of reinforce it by using it the incorrect way, so probably shouldn't. He did that tweet, and that was done on May 27th at 10 a.m. So that was on a Saturday morning, right? On May 27th. Today is Monday, but let's go to what I replied with, because a day later, listen, it was 95% back when there was 1,000 ratings, because that's what he had on his. Remember? He wrote 1,000. That was his screenshot. And now when I look at it, 95%, but there's 2,500 ratings. When there's that many new ratings that are added and it still hasn't budged, that's a problem. Now I know when a score is really large, there's a million people who added something. If 2,000 new reviews come in, I don't expect that audience score to budge. That's a valid thing to say to me. But that's not what happens when double the amount of people come in and it stays at 95. Not 60, 95. You're telling me it wouldn't budge and come down? Come on now. I was born at night but not last night. So I'm skeptical of it enough to track it a day later, and there's the two screenshots that you can compare. If you look at the tomato meter on the left, it's the 67% from critics. You can see how many people wrote reviews, 240, right? 242. Let's look at the next thing where I covered this. So that, oh, actually read my tweet. Now I took a screenshot. It would be unlikely for the score to remain at 95% after 2,000 more. After 4,000 more ratings are submitted, the score should fluctuate. I didn't document that 86% thing for the Star Wars Episode 9, but I will here. Rotten Tomatoes fixes scores. I replied to myself 20 hours ago, so that would be on Sunday night at 11:25 p.m. So it's still opening weekend when I wrote what I wrote. And I go, it is Sunday night. There are now 5,000 verified ratings, still at 95%. Yes, at this point, it is possible for it to be legit. Let's keep monitoring to know whether Rotten Tomatoes fixes scores. And the place I'm coming from at this point, and I'll open it up, you can see it will, when it was 1,000 verified ratings, it was 95. And when it's 5,000, it's still 95. It's one thing for this thing not to move, and that's fine. We can say that it's Memorial Day weekend in America. It's a holiday there. And if it is Memorial Day weekend, fine. The guy who's there to update the numbers, he's just off, or she's just off, and we'll get a new refreshing number later. But the thing is, when I show you what tweet comes next, they are refreshing the numbers. You are going to see an updated change, because let's scroll down from number 3 all the way to number 4. The all audience score has been changing. So I clicked on the number 95, and you guys can see it gives you more choices. You can go to verified audience, which was on the left, but instead I clicked on all audience, and that 56% with 25,000 ratings, that's still moving. And when I noticed that, and I also noticed that it moved from 67% to 68%. That's when I know that, well, this site is being updated. There is someone monitoring it. It's not a holiday situation. Somebody over there at the Rotten Tomatoes website is purposely locking the score at 95, and it'll stay that way. I'm convinced. Hashtag Rotten Tomatoes fixes scores. But for those who are not convinced, this is the time where you get to get in the comment section and think of an excuse I haven't thought about. I can think of a lot of reasons to do this. One of them is to make it seem like this movie's better than it is, so that people promote. So the website promotes this movie. Other people watch the movie. It's all just to help each other, to help the industry of the movies. That's not a very noble reason, is it? I can think of, well, this is being targeted by people who want to review bomb. That's true. It is being targeted by everyone who wants to review bomb. I think IMDb wrote a little something that says we're changing the way that we're going to count movie reviews here. We're not going to let those 0-star reviews, which just like so many of them came in to besmirch this movie. Racism is probably the reason why. Did I say probably? I meant certainly the reason why. But admit it. Tell the truth. Be honest with yourself, with your audience, and let us know that your website is changing the way that you're doing the rotten score, and that'll be fine. Like if the verified audience people, if they're still verified, they still got the tickets that verify them, and it's not the BS one. If that rating system's still pretty flawed, and it means you got to lock it at 95%, admit it, and that'd be nice. Actually, do the IMDb shows. IMDb will tell you like this amount of people gave it a 5 star. These were 4 star reviews. These were the 3 stars, and here's were all the 1 star reviews. And we can look at that and we can go, oh yeah, look, yeah, we know what's happening. But don't do that because then you lose your credibility for other movies. This happened for Rise of Skywalker, and I noticed it because it was off putting. But this is also off putting, and Chillmonger's not advocating for anything here that is in a hateful nature, in a hateful space. Actually, what I would like is for a for a hero, a character to come out who looks like Halle Bailey, sings like Halle Bailey, acts like Halle Bailey, and is not a character who's going to be white again. I'll read the tweet. All audience has been changing, so I thought I should include it. It's 56% with 25,000 ratings. Also, their critic score moved up 1 to 68 when just 8 reviews got added. Thousands of reviews are added to the verified ratings, and it's still at 95%. Rotten Tomatoes fixes scores. That's the point I'm trying to make here. There's more things that we can look at, like if we want to analyze the Little Mermaid movie. Let's talk about the box office. The international box office is killing this film. I wonder if it'll switch over when I change my screen. Has it? Yes, perfect. Not perfect. But the Little Mermaid, as you can see there, yeah, it's got it. Grosses. The domestic box office made up for 63%. That's not a lot. Movies that are hot internationally, the domestic box office is supposed to be like 33% if it came domestically. But what they're showing us here with this is that the audiences internationally are not showing up for it. They see her and they say, we are not going to spend our money on a character that looks like that. It's a problem. It's a problem with the movie industry that they've got to like reap what they sowed. They created this problem, this mess. You think this Chinese box office, China, everywhere in the world that doesn't really have black people, do you think they just grew up hating? Or do you think that they were taught from movie depictions, these are the people who are not worth our money. They are stereotype 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now you do a movie starring Ariel Halle Bailey, and all of a sudden it's not very. It is what it is. It's poor. This is an industry fault. This is Where am I here? So I'm gonna show you the domestic box office in France. If I can click on the correct buttons, France will show you. Boom, 3 million. And I would bet out of that 3 million, the audience is pretty black. France is not just all white people there. When we look at countries like Mexico, let me go to South Korea. Damn, homie. 15,000. Even they came for Black Panther. They came for that movie in 2018, back when you kind of had to be invested in the franchise. So you kind of had to watch this one to know what's going on with everything else. And they kind of made a lot of money there. Still not as much as the other movies. Everyone wants to talk about how internationally it broke the mold. Not really. Compare the Chinese box office for Black Panther to like Captain Marvel, and you can see the difference. Italy, what was Italy saying? 4 million? Could be better. The international box office is what it is. Domestically, it's huge. 117, that's good. Usually movies that do this, like the Aladdin film, they go on to be billion-dollar movies. This one's probably going to die at 500 million. And Chillmonger's happy about that. You see, original heroes who are always going to be black, like Static, are the way to go. If you guys told me that Tony Stark, the next time around, will be cast, we're going to go younger, we're going to get John Boyega. Marvel Cinematic Universe reboots right now. Brand new start. Boyega is going to play Tony for the next 30 years. I'm going to go, why? Very important. Because of this missing detail in everyone's argument. There's only a few times that a studio is going to cast a black lead and put that many resources behind it. I'm not just talking about the film budget, I'm also talking about the advertising, where it would be nice in every country to have a poster of someone with like a dark skin tone face covering that poster so that people go walk and just be like, oh look, there's someone there. That just normalizes that appearance. That would be nice. but there's only a few times they're gonna do this. When was the last expensive black person movie in Hollywood? Maybe Wakanda Forever, maybe? And even that's got its problems because it's a temporary character who's gonna be gone for T'Challa later on. But they do it for Little Mermaid, and I go, yo, we need more black movies. Where are your black movies? And they get to say, hey, Chillmong, what are you talking about? We just did a black movie called The Little Mermaid. I'm like, to counter the amount of characters we get, like Beauty and the Beast, pick any white character that's like epic. To counter that, what we need is characters who are not white, from various different ethnicities, backgrounds, countries of the world, origins, just not white folk. We need that to counter that. And when you say, we're just gonna take a white character that's already popping since 1989, The Little Mermaid, make it black for a little bit. Okay, hey, and get your merchandise, guys. Go to Disney World. There's a black Princess Ariel now. We got one, even though she was way darker than Halle Bailey, but whatever. Go, guys. Limited time and time. Little Mermaid's back to being white all over again. I just saw it happen with Cinderella. It was a moment back in like 2000, and then Cinderella just white, white, white over. They did the remake movie, remember? Cinderella was white. What I want is for this movie to flunk, to make $0, and for them to owe money. So they go, ugh, it doesn't work when you do that. But it did work for Black Panther. What's the difference between the 1.3 billion that we got for Black Panther 2018 and these other things that we do that just don't work? You know what I think needs to happen? I think it just needs to be a character who's always black. Maybe the black audience will show up in numbers for that. Because there's a lot of audience members who know what I just repeated to you. This is temporary representation. It doesn't last, it doesn't stick, it doesn't have any longevity, it won't survive the reboot, this thing doesn't carry over, and what you need to counter the problem, which is underrepresentation, is to be everlasting representation. If you disagree with me, go complain about something in the comment section. I'll pin the stupidest comment.